In this MCQ, change of momentum of an object is given and we are asked to determine the change in kinetic energy. So it is informed in this question that momentum of a body increased by 1.5% and you have to determine the increase in kinetic energy, that by what percent the kinetic energy of the body is increased. So first we have to recall the relationship between kinetic energy and momentum, and you know that is kinetic energy equal to p square over 2m. This is the relationship between momentum and kinetic energy. Actually, we have to determine the percent change in kinetic energy through this equation. How? We are supposing that this is the initial momentum and this is the initial kinetic energy. Now we are going to determine the final momentum and final kinetic energy, on the basis of which we will arrive to the final answer. So here the change in momentum is 1.5%. So it means that it is 0.015 addition to the momentum. So the new momentum will be P prime will be equal to P plus 0.015 P, or we can say it will be equal to 1.015 P. This is the new momentum. Now we have to determine the kinetic energy. That kinetic energy prime will be equal to P prime square over 2m, and after this P square means P prime square means square of this. When we are going to determine the square of 1.015, the square of this will be 1.030225. So 1.03225 P square over 2m. So this is the first kinetic energy, which we call initial kinetic energy. So the final kinetic energy becomes equal to 1.03225 is neglected times of the initial kinetic energy, and after that we can write it as prime equal to kinetic energy initial plus, because an additional amount is obtained here, 0.03 kinetic energy. We have divided this into two parts. Now this is final, this is initial, and we can get delta Ke, that will be equal to 0.03 Ke. And now we have to determine percentage. So dividing the change by original and multiplying by 100, we will get the percent change, and that will correspond to 3%. So the correct answer is D. And there is a short trick to determine such type of questions, and this is only valid for those in which one quantity depends upon the square of other, as kinetic energy is depending on the square of momentum and square of velocity. So we can apply this thing. There are actually 3 steps. Step number 1, you just twice the change of percentage that is given to you, that is 1.5 into 2 means it will be equal to 3. Step number 2, take the 10th part of the given change in momentum. As we are given the change of momentum, that is 1.5, so 10th part of this will be equal to 0.15. Step number 3, square the 10th part of given change. This is the 10th part and you have to take the square of this. In 0.15 multiply by 0.15 means it is giving us a square, so it is equal to 0.225. So add the result of step number 1 and step number 3, so it will be equal to 3.225%, which we have neglected here. Here you can see we have neglected this, so we are again neglecting this, this is the 3%. So this is the short trick to determine the solution of such questions.